Today, let's talk about turbulence. And in flight, there is turbulence that occasionally shakes the aircraft, but during manifestation, sometimes it shakes the self-concept. Don't react to the 3D. The moment you choose a new reality, the old one doesn't just disappear. It tries to reboard. It knocks on the cabin door. It whispers through old assumptions. And your job is to not panic. Just remain embodied in the new state, in your new assumptions. Let's think of turbulence as a metaphysical phenomenon. When you shift states, you're not just changing thoughts, you're changing identity. And the old identity patterns don't vanish instantly, they echo. It has been my experience that the old version of you can sometimes test the integrity of your new embodiment, your new assumptions. Neville says, persist in your new assumption, even if the world denies it. It will harden into fact. I think he was describing turbulence. He's describing the moment the cabin shakes and your mind says, see, nothing changed. But turbulence is not a sign of danger. It's a sign of an altitude change. It's the atmosphere adjusting to your new state. Just like a pilot doesn't fight turbulence, you don't fight old thoughts. You stabilize, you breathe, you return to the flight deck of awareness, you're continually returned to your wish fulfilled. Neville often cited scripture to back up what he taught. In John chapter 14, verses 13 and 14, it says, I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. You may ask me for anything in my name, and I will do it. So persist in your new assumptions, and they will erupt and become reality. Your desires are guaranteed. So let's talk about cabin pressure and what to do if old beliefs try to return. When old beliefs rise, it's like a sudden drop in cabin pressure. Your body might react. Your nervous system feels it. Your mind reaches for the oxygen mask of old stories. But here's the truth. The pressure didn't drop because something is wrong. It dropped because you're ascending. Neville calls this the bridge of incidents. It is simply the world rearranging itself to match your new assumption. And sometimes that rearrangement feels like turbulence. Your job is not to interpret the shaking as failure. Your job is to stay in the seat of the new state. So if things seem to be shaking, there are rituals to help keep you embodied. Airline flight crews rehearse emergency drills so passengers don't freeze or panic when something unexpected happens. In manifestation, your drills are your rituals. Let's address them and break them down. So if you experience old emotions resurfacing, these are not regressions. They're the old version of you leaving. Persist in the state of your wish fulfilled in your new assumptions. I ask myself questions to troubleshoot myself, so if turbulence hits, ask, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Ask yourself, who am I choosing to be now? This transforms fear into fuel. It turns the shaking into a signal that you're shedding the old altitude. Let's use breathwork as your oxygen mask. When the oxygen mask drops, you don't negotiate with it, you use it. Your breath is the fastest way to return to embodiment. Let's try this protocol. Inhale and say, I am in my chosen state. Hold a moment and say, this is who I am now. Then exhale and say, the old story is dissolving. Breath is your cabin stabilizer. It brings you back to the present moment, the only place creation happens. Let's discuss pattern interruptions. For example, when an old thought loops, interrupt it physically. Move around, clap, shake your shoulders, stand up, move. This is your turbulence protocol. It breaks the trance of the old identity and snaps you back into the new assumption. Neville would call this changing the inner conversation. You're refusing to let the old voice, the old inner conversations, to speak unchecked. Let's discuss Neville's core techniques to navigate turbulent moments. For example, SATs, known as state akin to sleep. When turbulence hits, use SATs to re-enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not the thought, the embodied feeling of possessing your desire. Neville taught that feeling is the secret because feeling is the state. When you return to the feeling, you return to the flight deck controls. Another powerful tool Neville taught is revision. If an old pattern shows up in your day, revise it that night. Rewrite the moment as if you responded from your new identity. This is not denial. It's identity reinforcement. You're teaching your subconscious, this is who we are now. Take control of your inner conversations. When turbulence hits, your inner voice will try to narrate disaster. Interrupt it. Replace it with the voice of the version of you who has already landed in the desired reality. Let's remember what Neville said, that your inner speech mirrors your future. So speak from the future, not the fear. If you are experiencing turbulence and are affected by it, be gentle with yourself. You are not backsliding. Let me say this again. If you experience some turbulence during manifestation, you are not failing. You are not going backwards. You are not losing your manifestation. You are experiencing the weather of transformation. Turbulence doesn't mean the flight is off course. It means you're moving through layers of atmosphere your old identity never reached. You're ascending, you're stabilizing, you're becoming, and every time you choose embodiment over panic, you reinforce the new state until it becomes your default altitude. Continue to lock it in. So guys, just remember that turbulence is temporary. Your embodiment is permanent. Persist in the assumption of your wish fulfilled. Stay buckled into your chosen reality. And trust that every shake, every wobble, every echo of the old story is proof that your desired reality is about to erupt. Relax and trust. Your desires are yours. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.